Greetings and salutations, folks. My name is Nick, and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition, where today we're going to start the Hissing Wastes region. But before we go to that, we're going to take care of some operations and track down Samson and take care of him for good. So first off, the operations. The War Council must be gathered. I don't remember if I think I had maybe like one or two. Oh yeah, and I also spent the money to get an Inquisition perk. Let's see. Is it too late to worry about an extra 5% in XP? Alright, let's get that master focus, and then next time I might go get mage schematics or warrior schematics. But I'm getting close to being done with getting all of the Inquisition perks I actually care about. Everything else is generally about, like, merchant prices. I mean, I suppose I can get that, like the rare items. Maybe that'll include some rare items that might be better than what I have. I need a very specific...
Inquisitor. Let us begin.
Herb in order to I haven't upgraded my potions for a long time. We found a clutch of intact dragon eggs, which are currently incubating in Skyhold. For study purposes only, of course. How dangerous can baby dragons be? We found little else. From eyewitness reports, the adult dragons never ventured close to where the red lyrium grows, even though they could easily have done so. I can only conclude that the creatures instinctively understand that red lyrium poses the threat. Alright, that seems like good in the long run. We don't need Rash Vine, though. We don't really need more bear leather. Yeah, sure, why not? Maybe we'll get some fancy herbs there.
All right.
All right, 1 second. Oh yeah, so Samson is over at the Shrine of Dumont. Which sounds familiar? No. Sounds like a place that we might have been before, but at the same time, we might not have. I don't remember if I was given a specific remedy for dealing with his armor. So I'm not entirely sure if that is going to be a problem.
The heart of Samson's command.
Oh no, this is...
I don't see him anywhere, or hear him.
This is why we're here. We're going to find Maddox to deal with Samson's armor. We're still one step behind dealing with Samson. Oh. We're at too many saves. Maybe once I'm done with today's video, I'll go back and delete some of these saves. Why, hello.
One down.
Oh yeah, Cullen's with us. As like a non-playable character. There we go. And you are almost dead. You're dead, never mind. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of destroyable boxes around here. Really shows up in the environmental damage. Like, it definitely displays, like, Dragon Age Inquisition uses the Frostbite engine, but it's unfortunate that the development team had such a difficult time working with it. Because like they could have probably been able to do a lot more cool stuff in regards to the environmental destruction, but they spent a lot of time just making the systems work. Oh, everybody just had moved over here. That's okay. Why, hello. You're just standing there? This Red Templar behemoth? Just filling up the doorway?
This place is already half destroyed.
Samson must have ordered his Templars to sack his headquarters so we couldn't. I think you're right. Still, we've dealt Samson a blow.
Also, very, very kind of the game to think that I actually need a supply cache now. After this opening slew of fights. You can attack my target. Ah, no, he had already... Oh no, he was just on the ground. Cullen, who are you going after? He is going after these guys. I will go after the one at the top here because he is generally inaccessible to everybody else. Ah, I had higher hopes for that stab. I wonder, like, how much time is spent in RPGs like this just looting garbage items that are just going to be sold? Like, not even items that are even viably useful. Just spending time finding the corpses to loot and then looting them. Let's attack that one. And I will go after this one. I appreciate that this particular attack does a pretty good job in regards to avoiding the shield itself. Like, even attacks from the front seem to, like, just forget about the existence of the shield. Which is convenient. Yeah, we got some schematics. Like, I mean, I've never really gotten into the modification system in this game. Like, making weapons, sure. Modifying those weapons, that just sounds like work. And I still haven't figured out how to enchant a weapon or enchant an item. Like, there doesn't seem to be an enchantment station. Oh, hello, Maddox.
Hello, Inquisitor.
You know me?
It's Maddox, Samson's tranquil. Something's wrong. I'll send for the healers.
That would be a waste, Knight Captain Cullen. I drank my entire supply of Blightcap essence. It won't be long now.
Are you in pain?
I was at first. Not anymore. I destroyed the camp with fire, We all agreed it was best. Our deaths ensured Samson had time to escape.
You threw your lives away for Samson? Why?
Samson saved me even before he needed me. He gave me purpose again. I wanted to help.
We should check the camp. Maddox may have missed something.
Worth a look around, right?
Yeah, we're here.
Lyrium bottles, licked clean.
Ugh, revolting.
How much red lyrium is Samson taking? His resistance must be extraordinary. Samson left a message for me.
What does it say?
Drink enough lyrium and its song reveals the truth. The chantry used does, you're fighting the wrong battle. Corypheus chose me as his general and his vessel of power. Now there's such nonsense. As if I would sympathize.
Once again, a vessel is in need of being filled. But filled by what?
This must have been Maddox's room.
The fire couldn't destroy these entirely, whatever they are.
They are implements for working lyrium safely. Craftsmanship is remarkable.
Tranquil often designed their own tools. Daggers should be able to make sense of them. Maddox used these to make Samson's armor. She could use them to unmake it. We have him.
We have you now. It is useless to resist. Alright. We probably can't just... Oh, we can just leave. Thank goodness. Sometimes with these extra dungeons, like these side dungeons, the game's like, oh, no fast traveling for you. But then sometimes the lack of, the fast traveling has been removed so that they can just throw in a combat encounter on your way out. But then sometimes, there's just nothing, and you're like, now I just have to walk back to the entrance. Although that's one of the reasons why I feel like Ratchet and Clank games have some of the best level design. Because it's a very basic strategy for level design. If you've ever played classic Ratchet and Clank game, or even newer ones, to showcase this, Ratchet and Clank levels tend to be circular in design. That way, there's the beginning of your level where you have your ship, and then you use your ship to travel to the other levels. You go around, you finish the level at the end, and the end is also right next to the beginning. So you can just finish the level, go to your ship, move on to the next level. You're never backtracking because the end is always the beginning. And that's one of the issues that some of the areas in this game has, where you go deeper and deeper to the end of a dungeon, and then you finish the dungeon, and then the only way out is just going back through the empty dungeon you have just completed.
The red lyrium deposits are being destroyed, and we've cut the Red Templars down to the core. It's a pity Maddox thought his sacrifice was the only answer. But that leaves Samson with a severely curtailed army, and enchanted armor he can't maintain. You did it.
We both fought to make this happen. Don't sell yourself short.
Well, thank you. But my work's not done yet. We're getting recruits by the hour. There's more than a few ex-Templars among them. We've struck a blow and given people hope. This is a true victory.
Inquisitor, I finished it. Are you talking? Sorry. Have it anyhow.
You mean this rune?
It's not just any rune. I made it with red lyrium and what's left of poor Maddox's tools. The rune acts on the median fissures of lyrium to... It'll destroy Samson's armor. He'll be powerless.
We'll cut Corypheus off from his most powerful officer.
Maddox covered Samson's tracks thoroughly. But wherever Samson's retreated, we'll find him. Your army stands ready, Inquisitor. For Samson, for Corypheus, for whatever you command.
I'd imagine I'm going to have to equip said rune, which is fine because I have no runes equipped to my weapons anyway, because of what I said earlier in regards to weapon modification and item modification. Is like, it's easier to figure out the system in which you're just finding schematics that allow you to build new weapons. But then you've got to mess around and figure out, like, what can you modify? Let's, hold on. I thought I had a rune. I have no runes. This is highly unclear. I was holding said rune in my hand in the cutscene. Hold on a second. Okay, so apparently the rune that she hands you over does not have to be attached to a weapon. You know, I wonder if there was a way that the video game could have given me that information, especially since it seemed to be an item that needed to be handed to me, that is also consistent to items that already exist in the game. The fact that runes already exist and runes have already been taught as something that can be attached to weapons. Like, like, it would have been nice if the game was a little bit more upfront in regards to say, hey, you don't need to equip this. It's all good. We got it. Or maybe instead of having it as a rune, like, what other kind of plot device could they have done it? Like, maybe, we have modified this hammer to break the armor, and it like still offer it as like a key component, kind of like how Dark Souls has a section of keys, and they just become plot devices. Like, I forget the names of any of these keys, but for instance, like, oh, hold on, we've got a Scout Harding.
I did what I could, Your Worship. This space has nothing but space. If there's nothing valuable here, I say let Corypheus have it.
Nothing valuable, Scout Harding. You're here.
The desert is immeasurably more precious with
Sarah, why do you constantly improve of me hitting on Harding?
When did you come up with that one?
I had some time along the way.
I did find something for you. Old dwarven ruins on the surface. Impossible, but there you go. The Red Templars are digging them out, with Venatori supervision.
Whatever they want, we must beat them to it.
I just saw Red Templars heading northwest to here. They might be a good start. I found this map on a dead one. Maybe it shows where they're headed. Good luck.
Thanks. So there are 4 pillars. An ocularium, a flag, and mountains that are walking the dinosaur. 7 camps! Oh my gosh, I was hoping this area was going to be smaller. 7 camps, why does it have so many camps? Cassandra, I don't think I have any blood lotuses. I need to farm blood lotuses so I could throw more jars of bees, but until then, the bee industry is going to be coming up a little bit short. All right. Those are actually, they all seem to be very close together though, so maybe there's that caveat. And as long as it doesn't have the verticality of the desert oasis, you know, at the very least, if it doesn't have that verticality that makes the desert oasis such a pain in the ass to explore. Oh, hello.
Safe travels.
Oh, you're allies. Thank you for this hat. Oh, hello. You look like a landmark, maybe. You are not a landmark. You just look like one, because you're just sitting up top there, minding your own business. Oh, hold on. Those are the Walk the Dinosaur pillars. For some reason, I've been watching old music videos in my spare time. And one of those is the Was Not Was video of Walk the Dinosaur. And I did not realize that there was a whole dance involved in Walk the Dinosaur. And, you know, it's kind of cringe to watch. I also didn't realize that song had so much cowbell. Maybe too much cowbell. But is there such a thing? Alright, we got this. It definitely feels like it's...
It doesn't want the sand.
Like this area is
So much
bigger,
nowhere.
but emptier.
Are those lights in the distance? They may be campfires.
Let's have a look.
Like it takes longer to walk across. Oh, you jerk. Once again. No. I made the rule. I'm not going to break my own rules that easily. Alright, you can dispel that one. Cassandra can spell purge right next to herself. Alright, do we have any... Oh, yes we do. We have a despair demon. But now it's not the time for despair. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be just a very large but empty area, which I'm okay with, because that essentially means that I don't have to worry about climbing mountains, circumventing fortresses. Figuring out which ladders will reach which section. It's just a large, empty space. Though you could also say this is emblematic of the development issues of the game itself. Like, they spent so much time figuring out the tools for how to make it work that by the time they were at the point where they had to actually add in the gameplay, they had spent so much time developing the assets, developing the areas, that they weren't necessarily able to fill in the space so easily. Like, this is just big, wide open areas of nothing. Oh. There seems to be a camp, or an enemy camp over there. Is that important? I don't know. That is not the button I wanted, you know, but that works. And then we'll stun this Pride Demon, I think. Yes. Alright, and while you're looting... Oh, I cannot switch character mid-loot. I guess that's good to know. I don't know exactly how often I'm going to be doing that. Oh, son of a... Alright. Solus, you're going to need to move... Oh, I accidentally unpaused. Didn't realize that. Let's get rid of this Despair Demon, because Despair Demons suck. Satara, you will be defeated somehow. And you... Get rid of you, because you suck. Yeah, and any enemies that in video games that move so quickly that, like, your players cannot physically keep up with them are always kind of a pain in the ass. Like, I've been playing Alan Wake 2 in my spare time, the final draft, so that I could, at the very least, unlock the final draft ending proper for myself. And there are enemies that just fly across the area, and the problem isn't necessarily that the enemies are so fast. The problem is largely... It doesn't really seem that there's anything for me to do over there other than, I suppose, fight them. The problem isn't that they're so fast. The problem is that it's hard to see anything in that game. It's always dark. You're in the forest. They're barely perceptible as is, and then they speed off somewhere, and it's like, where did they go? And, like, the problem here is just your characters are really slow. Although I should... Ooh, I've never used that ability. Let us... replace Knockout Powder with Evade. Because then, in theory, I could evade towards enemies. Like, I've got two attacks. Like, there's that one that's mapped to B right now. I don't know what it's called. But that one is a pretty good dash maneuver. And then if I could combine that with evade... I might actually have to bust out my mount for this area because everything is just so far apart from each other. And there's almost kind of like nothing in between. All right, Pride Demon. Excellent. Solus, it looks like you're a little bit closer this time. But everybody's also a little, just enough far apart that I can't actually hit two at the same time. So I'm gonna hit you, and you can... do that. There we go. Alright, this area does seem like it's going to be a little bit simpler of a region than it specifically lets on, simply because of the distance between things, the emptiness. Let us grab our horse, which we have not bothered to modify since we changed. Oh, there's a quarry next to us. We don't need any more quarries for any reason. But, like, look how far apart that is from where our actual location is. Distances on these maps can be quite relative. I claim this quarry for the Inquisition! Alright. And then... let us travel south and west. You know, traveling through this empty region really kind of emphasizes how slow your mount is in this game. And it's been mentioned before, both by myself and by people on the internet. But, like, it has been mentioned how, like, there are issues with the mount. How the mount speed is extremely limited because of their lack of understanding of the engine itself. And the problems that the developers had getting the engine to work. Which... I wonder if, like they didn't really have the same issues... Hello? Hold on, yes, I'm gonna fight you. Give me a second. Alright, we fought him. Good job, us. Like, Mass Effect Andromeda also uses, by the way, query claimed for the Inquisition. Mass Effect Andromeda also uses the Frostbite engine. But I don't believe it had the same problem. So I wonder if, like, this is one of those situations where, like, Mass Effect Andromeda was able to run because Dragon Age walked. Like, in Mass Effect Andromeda, you have a vehicle that's able to race through areas. It still had issues. But then again, Mass Effect Andromeda probably also utilized a lot of the tools that were already built in with the Battlefield games. And that's one of those things that separates any one video game from another that uses the same engine is the tools that are designed, that are implemented, that are utilized to design the game itself. Like, if you look at a lot of early games that use the Source engine, that use Half-Life 2's Source engine specifically, especially indie games that use Half-Life 2's Source engine, and it becomes very obvious that you're looking at... Speaking of, what was the name of your character in Mass Effect Andromeda? Was it the Pathfinder? But a lot of those indie games that used Half-Life 2's Source engine used the same tools, and sometimes even the same assets. But, like, even if they used the different assets, if they used the same tools...
How did you know to approach us, Solas?
Like, they clearly look like Half-Life 2's. They feel like Half-Life 2.
I went to see the breach for myself. I did not know you would be there.
You must not have been far away.
I was not. I'd come to hear of the Conclave, but did not want to get close.
Lucky for us, then.
What crazy random happenstance? All right. But like you look at Unity games, there's a large amount of difference between lots of different Unity games. Art style, assets. There's a little bit of, there's much more variety, whereas it seems like with a lot of the Source Engine games, like it was a lot easier to just utilize those tools that were there in the first place. And that's why a lot of them do have a very similar look to them. Like you look at Doom Engine games, like classic Doom Engine, classic Build Engine, and I feel like that's why a lot of people say the engine is one of the most important things. And having a different engine creates a different look. Because a lot of these games don't just use the same engine, they also use the same tools to craft their game. I'm still trying to get to this camp, but this area to the west seems relatively important. Oh, geez. Oh, no. Can we? Is this impassable by horse? Your horse must be this short in order to go underneath this bridge. Oh, is this camp already occupied? We might have to evict the current residents. Alright, go after the brute. I'll go after Shield Man, who decided... not to wear any armor. I mean, you're in the desert all day, but still, like, you decide. Look at these guys. Who even needs to protect your vital organs? Oh, they were not protecting the camp. The camp is actually right over here. I could have just let them live, go about their business.
Everywhere. Dispatch for you.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Let's see, there is a rift. Everything is far apart from each other. Let's actually go then northwest to this rift first. This is also one of those common mistakes in regards to trying to make it seem like your world, like your game is more epic, is just make things so far apart from each other. Like, there's a lot going on for, GTA 5's map, but in the single-player campaign, that distance just kind of means that you're spending a lot of time driving from one mission to the next. Alright, attack that one. I will kill this one. Entirely. Good job, folks. Solus? Maybe hit that one. Cassandra, Spell Purge. Bride Demon. I don't know what just hit me. And another rift is closed. All right. That looks relatively important, way off in the distance. Everything does feel very far away from each other in this map. Like, I don't even see the rift that I'm heading towards, and that's just a bright green light. Is that... Okay, let's go towards this thing. See if it's anything. It looks like it could be something. It is just a lit torch underneath a rock. Let's see, this... This is emblematic of this entire area. Just riding alone. Oh, hold on. I think we see the rift off in the distance. All right, let us have team attack that one. I'll attack this guy. All too easy. Solus, you can... Honestly, there's no point for Solus to do anything. Because I think Cassandra is close enough to both of those. Yep. Alright, and yet another rift closed. I'm going to actually keep traveling southeast, because the other rift is probably pretty far from where I'm at. And because of logistics, I still have to remember there's stuff to the west of those camps that have not been marked on the map. But yeah, at the very least, Harding did provide an accurate description of this area. Like, this area is just space. Which, it's kind of like, if you've ever played one of those games that ridicules something, like parodies something, but still makes you do it. Or like a movie, how it might make fun of like something that happens in movies like it, but it still does the same thing. I claim this logging stand for the Inquisition. Like, the easiest thing would be like, ooh, there's a rift up on that ridge. Like how a game might say, aren't escort quests terrible, but then makes you do an terrible escort quest? Like, wow, isn't this area just filled with empty space and nothing, but it still makes you have to do the nothing that fills the empty space? Cassandra, you are right there. Solus. Oh, you're not even ready yet. How about that one? Ah, that was too slow. Let's go after that. Ooh. We're like right in between camps. Yeah, let's go northeast. Why not? Go after this camp. And like that seems to be like probably the best strategy at the moment, is just go for the camps, set them up. So at the very least, I've got some decent fast travel options.
Whoa, whoa.
But everything is still so far away from each other. Like, can I even reach the next camp from down here? Or am I just wasting my time? Because this is actually as far as the camera tilts up. Alright, so apparently it only tilts up that low when you're sprinting as the horse. If you're just trotting your horse along, then the camera is not limited, which is strange. But I will accept it, I guess, as a feature of this game. Oh. We have an ocularium out here, and the last of the shards to collect.
You seem troubled, Seeker. Still plagued by thoughts of your order?
I am reminded of what I was told following my vigil. They said my abilities were a gift from the Maker, a reward for my faith and dedication. But it was a trick, wasn't it? A ritual no different than the harrowing. Simply magic.
Do you know how rare spirits of faith are? How difficult it is to draw them to this world? You should be proud having accomplished something so remarkable. Not ashamed it was not what you thought.
Thank you, Solas. That does make me feel better.
Your faith does you credit, Cassandra. I hope your maker is worthy.
Interesting how everybody's weapons dissolve out of the universe last. Oh, jeez. Oh, they're a Venatori here. We probably should fight them. Attack my target, and I will go invisible. Excellent.
That's the last of them here.
An excellent watchtower. With a strong pair of eyes, you could spot a mouse crossing the sand.
The Inquisition could use this place then.
How do I get to whatever that quest is? Oh, is it just right over here? Members of the Venatori, we are close to unearthing the secrets the old dwarves buried here. The Elder One will doubtlessly be pleased with our success, but be vigilant. While our work has gone well, the Inquisition and their false herald were seen traveling towards the wastes. Travel together and go armed. Lavalin may have no magic other than the anchor, but the damnable rogue has eluded death more times than can be natural. We cannot allow the Inquisition to take this place from us. If you are pressed, retreat to our main camp behind the Sunstup Mountains. Extra guards will be posted. The Elder One will prevail. Overseer Julix. It's very kind of the overseers of the evil order to provide appropriate naming in regards to who wrote whatever documents. Now, how easily can I get to... You know what? I'm going to fast travel here, go to the other rift, then go to the other camp. So, alright, the third rift that I left open. A lot of these greater shades that all it seems like all that is here is as these greater shades. It feels as though any difficulty that the game has had has slowly kind of... Like, the game has gotten a lot easier as it has progressed. Towards the beginning, things were more challenging. But, like... Fighting the dragons weren't even necessarily that difficult. It was just really about maintaining damage and filling health. Balancing item usage. Like, there wasn't really much going on tactically. That. Alright, good enough. Close the rift. In time and space. Oh, and I leveled up. Let's give the game a second to acknowledge said level up. For some reason, a lot of these notifications take a little while to actually pop up. There we go. Was there something? Yes, there was something I was going for. I was going for 25% armor penetration. Ooh. You know, just judging by the map, it doesn't look like it's that far. Oh, there's a cave under here. There are a lot of caves under here. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to this logging camp, travel northeast to the other camp, and then explore the caves. Maybe. Hold on. Wasn't there a treasure here by like a statue? A journal on dwarven ruins. A group of human mages have moved in. They're digging out buildings deep in the sand. When I tried to approach them, one of the workers dragged me aside and whispered to me to leave before the Venatori caught me. I wasn't going to listen until he showed me his cuts. These mages have been bleeding him for their spells. I ran. I wish there was something I could do. What do these Venatori want? The buildings I saw looked like tombs in the ancient style. Farrell was a master runesmith. Maybe the city revered his work enough to seal it away. Also, there's this place over here with the 4 pillars. I imagine the camp is nearby there. But also, I like the description of it being like in the ancient style. Attack my target. Yeah. I got hit by a fire mine and lived. A long time ago, that fire mine would have easily killed me. Alright, let us set up camp. So now we only have 1 out of the 7 camps left to do. Let us claim this set of pillars for the Inquisition. The 4 pillars. Astoris. Not only did we find the dwarven tomb precisely where I said we would, the writing on the stone uses a transitive verb found only in the scripts that predate 700 TE. It means, obviously, that these ruins were built before the first blight, just as I predicted when we started this expedition. I believe you owe me some gold. Avantham. Did somebody leave a letter? There's too many quest-based letters going on here. Lephis. I expected the wagon we sent out to the canyons to return to the watchtower by evening. It is now past noon. That it does not take a half day to travel from camp to camp should be obvious. But if no one has the sense to be alarmed, look for them immediately upon finishing this letter. Take archers with you. Those spiders in the canyon seem to fear nothing but that screeching monster to the east. I'll be by the 4 pillars. Astoris, the work goes well, but we're bound to be followed sooner or later. I've set up watch on the higher ground, in the Sunstop Mountains, obviously named by someone who never beheld a real mountain. If you're looking for Harmonom, he is looking for the tomb in the canyons to the west, Magister Eurethus. I'm suddenly reminded of the podcast Welcome to Night Vale. Largely because of its subplot that mountains are not real. Someone showed us a mountain. We touched a mountain. There's no guarantee that there are other mountains, but maybe we can accept that at least one mountain exists. Demons of the Stone! Demons of the Stone is my Metallica cover band. Until further notice, do not tamper with the torches. Lighting them in the wrong order summons demons. The inscriptions on the pillar indicate the correct order, but wait until we have confirmed the accuracy of our translations before proceeding. I have made maps to the other tombs where there are similar structures. Let the same warning stay your hand there. Below this, someone else has written complicated formulas and scribbled many notes. Demons bound into the rock? How did the ancient dwarves manage it without mages? Binding runes, subtle properties of stonework? Investigate! Gang carved into walls could be translated from Old Dwarven as stone waste or impure spirit of the stone. Dwarven superstitions saw demons as impure spirits of rock. Study impossible with dormant demons. Ask Cephas and Eurethus for help with binding. For pride these halls were made, to honor a father's deeds and grieve his loss. This is the tale of Farrell, paragon among paragon, father of 2 sons. And for loss these halls were made, to honor a brother mourned, who against their father's wishes fought from foolish words and foolish pride. Okay, I think I know the order. For pride these halls were made, to honor a father's deeds and grieve his loss. This is the tale of Farrell. Maybe I don't know. Okay, so maybe this is a tale of Farrell, paragon among paragons, father of 2 sons, who, against their father's wishes, fought from foolish words and foolish pride. For pride these halls were made, to honor a father's deed and grieve his loss. And for loss these halls were made, to honor a brother mourned. So we light that one. That one.
A burial chamber, I think.
All too easy. And a mosaic piece, which we will never finish. Oh, they got torn paper in here, and a key fragment.
You haven't used up all your guesses.
I'm conceding. I wasn't very interested to begin with.
Well, then, just cross your legs and guess?
Conceding. I'm giving up.
Some seeker you are.
What was she supposed to guess? I don't remember. All right. And now this desert is filled with things to do. I'm tempted to just go ahead and try to get that last camp. And then I can just go back and do other things afterward. Yep. There we go. Alright, I think this is the camp setup. And it is. Let us set up the last camp in the area. Alright. So there's still a bunch, there's definitely still a bunch of stuff to do. Let us head back to Skyhold. Check on everybody's operations. And this is definitely where I'm going to be stopping for the night. Next time we will return to the Hissing Wastes. Search for more of these ancient ideas and practices and burials and whatever the Venatori seem to be doing out in this desert filled with space. That's probably way too large than it needs to be. I'm also going to drop by the
Worship.
place you keep horses. The stable. There we go. And swap out my horse design, because it's been a while since I've swapped out the mount design. For now, let's see if I have any reason to actually set a new operation. Alright, Royal Elflord, sure, why not? Embrium. Do I need any of these things? Not really.
Let's see what we have.
Alright. In the meantime, I suppose, any suggestions for something to play next, leave it down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.
Inquisitor,